Hey everybody, it's Jason from the Texas Gun Vault, and once again I'm coming to you with another range report. And as you can see from the firearm we have on the table today, we're going to be reviewing something really cool. In fact, this is from my favorite firearms company. Some people might even claim that I'm a little bit biased towards them, but that's not the case. There's been a few of their guns that I have not liked. But this one, I think I'm going to love. Today we're going to be taking a look at the B&T SPR300. This is an integrally suppressed bolt-action rifle chambered in 300 Blackout. And you guys know I love tactical guns, and that's one of the reasons why I don't really have an extensive collection of bolt-action guns. I'm not a hunter. But this one really has caught my eye. It's definitely a modern rethinking of the bolt-action design and the fact that it is integrally suppressed and chambered in 300 Blackout. I'm hoping this is going to be a very, very quiet gun. Now, I have had some other experiences with the other B&T bolt-action rifles, such as the APR308 and 8.6, and I actually had some issues with those. With the 308, I just didn't shoot it very accurately, and with the 8.6, I had some issues with the trigger. But this one is a smaller framed version of that gun and chambered in an intermediate cartridge, so I'm hoping this one is going to be great. They claim this gun has maximum suppression and maximum accuracy, so that's what we're going to test. So as always, before we get this to the range and talk about all the things about it that I like and don't like, I always want to thank the people that make these videos possible. First and foremost is the owner of this really cool rifle, who not only donated his time, but also filled out the paperwork allowing me to borrow it to film this content. He's a local fan and subscriber named D, and he has an amazing collection. So once again, D, thank you for all you do for the Texas Gun Vault community. As always, I want to thank my Patreon supporters, because through their monthly donations and support, they help keep the lights on around here, and I could not do this without them. And if you want to join my Patreon for as little as $1 a month, there's a link in the description below, and you guys get to see all these videos early. And as always, I want to thank my primary sponsor, who provides all of the ammunition for these range reports and makes them financially feasible for me, my good friend Mark from Brownworks. And once again, I have an amazing firearm on the workbench, something really cool and tactical. It's also a collector's piece, and most likely if you're here to watch a review on a gun like this, you have a fine collection of guns yourself. You might even have guns like Colt 1911s, Browning High Power, CZ75s, or Beretta 92s, just to name a few. And you might be in the market to upgrade these guns with a set of custom one-of-a-kind grips. Well, the grip company you need to check out is Brownworks. Brownworks is a custom grip company making a wide variety of grips for a wide variety of firearms out of a wide variety of exotic woods and materials. Mark, the owner, is an artist and a craftsman. He can apply custom logos, custom engravings, custom textures, finish these grips in a wide variety of colors, and even apply exotic materials like snakeskin and alligator skin, making these grips unique and one of a kind. Every set of grips that Mark makes are made to order. Anything you could imagine, he can create. So I'm going to put a link to his website in the comment section below, as well as a coupon code for 10% off your first order. And I'm going to ask you to go over there and check out everything he has to offer. So when you place your first order for a set of custom grips, please tell Mark the Texas Gun Vault sent you. All right, so we have a lot to talk about when it comes to this firearm. So I want to go over all of the specs. So let me go ahead and adjust the camera. Let me give you some close-ups of this amazing firearm, and then we're going to take it to the range. So let's start by going over the specs of the B&T SPR300 Pro. This is obviously a 300 Blackout chambered firearm. It is integrally suppressed, so this very long suppressor goes over the barrel. It is bolt action. That barrel is 9.8 inches in length with a 1 1/8 twist rate. Its overall length is 39.7 inches. It weighs 8.5 pounds. It does come with a folding stock and the bipod included. It has an adjustable 2-stage Timney trigger in it, but we're just going to use it with the factory settings, and we are going to measure it to see how nice it is. Obviously, with a gun like this, that trigger is going to be very important. So let me get out the lineman trigger pull weight gauge, and let's see how light or heavy this trigger is right from the factory. So because this is not a semi-automatic firearm, there's no need to show you a close-up of the trigger and its take-up and its reset. All we're going to do is measure the pull weight. Now, when it comes to the controls of this gun, we do have a magazine release here, which is ambidextrous, but the safety is only on the right side. And after you have opened the bolt, closed it, you're able to move that lever. White in the back is safe, and of course, red is dead. So let's go ahead and drop the magazine, ensure there is no ammunition in it. Then, of course, open that bolt again, ensure there is no ammunition in the firearm. Looks like we are clear. So let's go ahead and test it out. Let's clear the averages of the gauge. And for our first pull, we have 3 pounds, 2.6 ounces. And it is important to note that this is the way this trigger came from the factory. This is an adjustable trigger, but I felt it would be important to measure it right out of the box the way it comes. For our second pull, we have 3 pounds, 3.2 ounces. Three pounds, 3.4 ounces. Three pounds, 4.3 ounces. And finally, we have 3 pounds, 5.0 ounces, which gives us an average of 3 pounds, 3.7 ounces. Now, when I just pulled this trigger here on the workbench, it actually feels a lot lighter than this. And this is a very crisp trigger. I honestly like it. So right out of the box, I think you get a great trigger. So that's what this trigger is all about. So now let me readjust the camera and we'll talk about the things about this gun that I like and don't like. And so before we get this gun to the range, as always, I want to talk about the things that I like and don't like. And I always want to start with the positive first. And the first thing I absolutely love about this gun is that, yes, it is a B&T. And some people are going to claim that I am a B&T fanboy. Yes, I probably am. But whenever you hold a B&T, you go, this is an innovative, well-built firearm. You do not see a machine mark on this. Everything is put together with tight tolerances and to high standards. Even the B&T guns that I might not be a fan of, I know and feel when I hold them that they are high quality. I absolutely love everything that they put out. They put a lot of passion and pride into their builds. The next thing I love about this gun is the fact that it is integrally suppressed. And take a look at this suppressor. It is gigantic. I can only imagine how quiet this gun is going to be. I also like the fact that this is a modern rethinking of a bolt-action gun. And we have a lot of accessory interface space here for scopes, lasers, any other type of accessory you could possibly want. One of the reasons, as I mentioned, I don't really have a lot of bolt-action guns in my personal collection is for the most part, they're designed for hunting. And I am not a hunter. I love military and tactical firearms. And this brings the bolt-action gun, I think, into the modern world. I love the fact that it has a pistol grip. I find this is a much more natural way of holding and aiming a gun like this. I know that a lot of people prefer a more traditional stock when it comes to bolt-action guns, but this not only has the right look, it just feels better in my hand. And as compared to some of the bigger bolt-action guns from B&T, I like the frame size of this gun. I really feel that this is going to scale it down and be a very comfortable gun to shoot. Also, in 300 Blackout, with this gigantic suppressor, it's probably going to be very, very quiet. And the last thing I love is this stock. This is a great stock for this gun. Hopefully, we're not going to have a lot of recoil. I'm not expecting it, being an intermediate cartridge. So having this kind of minimalist skeletonized stock, I think not only does it look well, it functions well, and it is foldable. So now let's talk about the thing about this gun that I don't like. And actually, there isn't any. And I have looked. I went over this gun with a fine-tooth comb. And as it sits here on the workbench, I can't think of anything about it that I don't like. So with all that said, now it's time to finally get this thing to the range and see how it shoots. So we're going to go to the 100-yard range at the Frisco Gun Club, and we're only going to start at 25 yards. First of all, I don't know what to expect with this gun. I don't know if this scope is zeroed, and I have no idea if it's even going to function. So starting off at 25 yards with subsonic ammunition, I think is a good place to start. So let's just go to the range, make sure this gun works, make sure it's accurate, see what the pull of the trigger is like, and see if the stock is comfortable. So let's go to the range, put some rounds through it, and see if I like the B&T SPR300. And simply, wow. Does this suppressor have an amazing tone or what? I've never shot anything with this much power that is that quiet. This thing literally sounds like a 22. Amazing. Also, I'm very happy with that accuracy. I know right now it's only at 25 yards, but the scope seems to be right on, and I have absolutely zero complaints. I'm also very impressed with how smooth this bolt moves. Yeah, everything about this gun seems to be high quality and is running great. So now I want to try one thing before going out to further distances. Even though most of this review is going to be with subsonic ammunition, I am curious how well this suppressor will suppress supersonic ammunition. So let's go back to the range, run some supers through it, and just see what the tone is like. And I did not adjust the scope for these shots, but the group was about the same, but of course it was a little bit higher, and that's because of the change in velocity. But overall, I'm very impressed as well with the suppression of this silencer. It is really nice. It's definitely louder, but it's working great. And with supersonic ammunition, I have exactly the same comments I had previously about the recoil and the function of the gun. So now let's set up the target at 50 yards, go back to subsonic ammunition, and just make sure this accuracy continues. And as expected, the gun is continuing to be very accurate and function well. A thing that's really surprising me is now I'm starting to notice the sound of the projectiles hitting the backstop at the range. I know the camera's microphone is not truly picking up the tone of this suppressor. It is very quiet. And then when you hear that sound reflection of that projectile coming from the end of the range, it's quite interesting. It really is a testament to how awesome this gun is. I've never shot anything like this before. All right, so let's go out to 75 yards and once again, just make sure that I can continue to shoot this gun this accurately. And I could not be happier with the performance of this rifle. It's ejecting very strong. As you can see, that brass is clearing that ejection port. I actually had an issue with the APR 8.6 when it came to this. The rounds just kind of dribbled out. This one, shooting it halfway across the range. I do appreciate that. But this gun is continuing to be very accurate, and I am just an average gun guy. I'm not that great of a shot. I'm not an expert shooter, not a trick shot, and definitely not a long-range shooter. So if I can group this gun like this at these distances this easily, I am very impressed. So now let me put the target out to 100 yards, the furthest distance I can go at this range. And this time I'm going to put 10 shots on target and just see what the best group I can get with it is at this distance. And for someone like me, I am going to be very happy with that group. I have no complaints whatsoever. Once again, I am just an average shooter. So if you're an expert marksman that's used to long distance shooting, I can only imagine what you would be able to do with this firearm. I'm very impressed with its accuracy, its feel, its consistency, and definitely how well this suppressor works. I was hoping it would perform this well because this is a very large suppressor with a large volume, and it definitely did not disappoint. I have absolutely nothing negative to say about this gun. I knew I was going to like this. I didn't know I would love it as much as I have. So overall, what are my final thoughts on the B&T SPR300 Pro? This definitely is a cool take and modernization of a bolt-action rifle. It is exceptionally accurate. It looks really, really cool. It is very, very quiet, and most importantly, it is a lot of fun. And I have nothing negative to say about it. So I think you know on my star system how I'm going to rate it. Yeah, you guessed it. 5 out of 5 stars. An absolutely perfect review. It exceeded my expectations, so I can't give it any higher of a rating. I love B&T, and this gun is a testament to their design and their passion. So if you're in the market for something different when it comes to a bolt-action firearm, this might be something you need to take a look at. So tell me in the comments section below, what do you think about B&T? Do you like bolt guns? And what do you think about an integrally suppressed bolt-action firearm chambered in 300 Blackout? I can't wait to hear what you have to say. And, as always, thanks for watching.